Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Your hosts are here, and we're continuing Danganronpa. Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers.
Kyoko.
Yes. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet? Skipping that.
I'm so sick of her.
Thank you, Hina,
Same,
for saying
Hina.
what everyone is thinking. Let's just move on from that. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water, but only the part on fire, the top half. That still looks really like a really little body, like a child's body.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Thank you. In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko, the Star Stealer. Kyoko's
I'm good
the
at that, aren't I?
only one left without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's... I'm still not convinced that's Mukuro.
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. Kyoko, damn.
Uh-huh? So, are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us. A trap? We're this far into the game and now you try to blame me?
No, we've kind of been doing that from the very start.
Stop wasting time. Stop wasting energy. You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss. Shutting up now.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her. Uh-huh. She did.
超高校級の絶望と言っていた。つまり黒幕だと思い込んでいた。
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything.
だからこそ戦場ムクロを殺し、全てを終わらせようとしたんじゃないのか。
So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko?
だが実際は違った。戦場ムクロは黒幕ではなかった。そこにキリギリの誤算があったんだ。
But he made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind after all.
そしてキリギリにとっては予想外とも言えるこの学級裁判が始まってしまった。
And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't expecting at all.
それがキリギリの動機？
So that was her motive?
動機があってアリバイがないとなると、これはもう確実にキリギリッチが犯人。
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
アリバイがないのは私だけじゃない。苗木くんのアリバイ。
What?
Ooh.
She throwing him under the bus now.
Oh.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient. Kind of weird for her to do.
Huh?
How do you feel, Makoto?
Turned on.
Is that why he was going after Sayaka?
Wow!
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you?
Because you
Tarp.
see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
The tarp, I forgot. I was.
面白い。言ってみろ。
Interesting. I'm listening.
現場にあったあるものを死体にかぶせれば濡らさずに済んだはず。
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been...
これだ。もしかしてあのビニールシートのこと。
You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
気づいたみたい。
You catch on quick.
I completely forgot about the tarp until this moment.
You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that take care of the water.
実際、犯人はその方法を使ったはずよ。
In fact, that's exactly what the killer did.
あのビニールシートの汚れ方がそれを物語っている。
The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that.
ビニールシートの片面だけが汚れていたのは、その面がスプリンクラーを浴びたから。
Kyoko, how do you know? Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
逆に死体に面していた裏面は、
The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean.
つまり犯人はビニールシートを使って。
This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
そこまでして死体が濡れるのを防いだ理由は何だ。
But why would they go to all the effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
おそらく殺人が起きた時間帯を誤認させるためじゃないかしら。
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place.
How many people were there when Monokuma said the thing about the sprinklers? It was just Yasuhiro and Makoto, wasn't it?
Yeah.
さっきの苗木君の
And
ような
then I
ことをする
think
ために
Makoto told Hina? I know
Did
he,
he?
I know he mentioned it to someone else. I can't remember who.
But this was he told everyone after they found the body though.
Okay.
In other words. In other words. In other words.
In other words.
In other
In other words. to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Damn.
Oh.
I. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer?
Do you feel betrayed, Makoto?
Yes. Very betrayed.
Both of his waifus in the game try to betray him.
That's what you get for trying to turn them into waifus.
Oh!
Damn!
No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
いやそれはおかしいよ
Wait, something's not right.
何おかしいの
No blood on the tarp.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. I think Kyoko's maybe just trying to buy time for some reason. Body before the explosion, exploded body analysis, fragments near the dead body. Oh god, I can't look at it.
死体にビニールシートをかぶ
By
せる
covering the body with the
死体が
tarp,
濡れないようにしたの
killer prevented it from getting
じゃ
wet.
あビニールシートが片面だけ汚れてた
So
の
the
は
reason the top was only dirty on one
その面
side
がスプリンクラーを浴び
is
たせい
because
か
the sprinkler got that side
で
wet.
もそのビニールシートの裏面
But
は
the undersides of
少
the
しも
tarp,
汚れてなかっ
it
たよ
was
ね
totally spotless, right?
そっちはスプリンクラーを浴びて
It's
ねえ
because
から
that
な
side was protected from the
下に
water
回してただけだか
since it
ら
was facing down towards the
綺麗
body.
なままで当然だべ
Of course it didn't get dirty. I remember the blood on the body hadn't dried yet. Byakuya even warned us not to touch it to avoid getting any blood on us.
犯人は死体にビ
Okay.
ニールシートをかぶせる 死体が濡れ
Body
ないようにしたの
before explosion.
じゃあビニールシートが
Come
片
on.
面だけ汚れてたのはその面がスプリンクラーを浴びたせいか
でもそのビニールシートの裏面は少しも汚れてなかったよね
そっちはスプリンクラーを浴びてねえからな死体に面してただけだから綺麗なままで当然だべ
No! No! No!
Oh
Oh boy.
犯人は
Shoot it
死
now.
体にビニールシートをかぶせることで死体が濡れないようにしたの
じゃあビニールシートが片面だけ汚れてたのはその面がスプリンクラーを浴びたせいか
でもそのビニールシートの裏面は少しも汚れてなかったよね
そっちはスプリンクラーを浴びてねえからな死体に面してただけだから綺麗なままで当然だべ
What?
I don't know what happened there.
犯人は死体
It's been ripped.
死体が濡れないようにした
じゃあビニールシートが片面だけ汚れてたその面がスプリンクラーを浴びたせいか
でもそのビニールシートの裏面は少しも汚れてなかったよね
そっちはスプリンクラーを浴びてねえからな死体に面してただけだから綺麗なままで当然だべ
God damn it! It's the white noise that keeps going over it.
犯人は死体にビニールシートが濡れないようにした
じゃあ
Shoot
ビニ
it
ー
down.
ルシートが片面だけ汚れてその面がスプリンクラーを浴びたせいか
でもそのビニールシートの裏面は少しも汚れてなかったよね
そっちはスプリンクラーを浴びてねえからな死体に面してただけだから綺麗なままで当然だべ
There we go.
Yay!
それが違うよ。
やっぱり片面だけが綺麗な状態っていうのもおかしいよ
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
だってさ爆破される前の死体ってまだ血が乾いてない状態だったんだよ
Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? I know why that is. The chicken licked up the blood from the underside of the tarp.
Of course.
Byakuya said it himself, not to touch it or you might get some on you.
Ew, blood.
If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
犯人が洗ったんじゃね？ビニールシートが使われたことを隠すためによ。
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody will know they used it.
それなら両面を洗い流すはずだ。片面だけ洗ったところで隠したことにはならない。
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
そりゃまあそうだな。
Oh, yeah, true.
そもそもその時の死体の血自体が犯人の偽装工作だとしたら
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
As in,
What you talking about, Kyoko?
as in, it wasn't actually blood from the victim? I don't know. I don't know where she's going with that. Huh? The blood was camouflage.
つまり犯人はビニールシートでスプリンクラーをやり過ご
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers,
死体の上から偽物の血をまいたんじゃないかしら
they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
偽物の血ってそんなものがどこにあるのよ
You mean someone else's blood? Where will they get something like that?
わかった。保健室の輸血用の血じゃねえか？
Oh, see, that's what I was thinking, but if Yasuhiro's saying it, then it's wrong.
Nice deduction there. I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
前に山田っちが死んだふりをしたとき、あいつはあの血を使ってたはず。
That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
いいえ今回の殺人で使われたのはあの血じゃないわ
No, that's not what happened this time.
犯人は
Jeff
現場の植物庭園から偽物の血を
The killer got the blood right there in the garden.
They got the blood from right there in the garden, right? Which must mean...
Oh.
No!
I knew it! I knew you would react like that.
No! ¿Por qué el pollo?
The pollo must die.
I was like, I have no idea. And then the chicken just appeared and I was like, no, why? Could it have been chicken blood?
Here lies the chicken.
What? Chicken blood? He lived a nice life.
Let us remember the chicken.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. Can't believe I blamed the chicken on. I thought she was the murderer.
But she was just an innocent victim.
But after the murder, there were only 4.
つまり犯人は鶏を殺してその血
So,
を使って
so you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood?
That's kind of brutal.
残酷なことすんだべ。
Man, that's messed up.
そんなことで生き物を殺すなんてひどいよ
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. You should have at least eaten it.
わざわざ現場から血を調達したのは自分が歩き回る姿を目撃されたくなかったからかしら
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotting walking around.
とにかく実際に鶏が減っていることが今の推理の
Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
だとしても少々引っかかるな。
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
犯人はビニールシートでスプリンクラーをやり過ごし、その後で偽物の血をまいたと言ったな。
You said the culprit used the top to avoid the water, and then covered the body in blood, right?
だが死体の上から血をまいたなら周辺の床にも血が流れてしまうはずだ。
But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
あの時の死体は違ったぞ。血で汚れていたのは死体の服だけだ。
But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it.
周辺の床は全く汚れてなかった。
The ground was completely clean.
確かに周辺の床が全く汚れていないのは変だ。
I have to agree, that certainly is strange.
だとしたら犯人はその場で血をまいたんじゃなくて前もって
Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
前もって白衣に血を。
They covered it beforehand.
I don't remember this. I don't know where she's
あ
going
な
with
たたち
it.
が発見した時の死体ってその白衣をちゃんと着て
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
確か
I think so.
Makoto, do you know how clothes work?
Wait,
から白衣をかけられただけの状態だったよ。
no, the head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
じゃあこれで決まりね。
Then that settles it.
ごめん話についていけてない。
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
つまり殺人が起きたのはスプリンクラーが作動するより
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off.
それなのに死体が濡れなかったのは犯人が死
But the
体
body
に
didn't get Oh, I was doing so good.
You
Okay,
almost
you can
did.
do it.
頑張ろう。
ファイトだよ。
頑張って。But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp.
そしてその後犯人は
Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp,
あらかじめ偽物の血で汚しておいた白衣を死体の上
they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood.
犯人はこれら一連の偽装工作を行うことで殺人
This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred.
殺人はスプリンクラーが動く7時30分よりも後に
They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30. Ooh. Mic drop.
確かにその方法なら7時30分よりも前に殺人を実行することが可能だな。
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
だけどさその偽装工作をする
But
た
to
めには
pull all that off,
スプリンクラーが終わった後に植物庭園に行かなくちゃ
wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
大した時間はかからない
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
ビニールシートを回収した後用意しておいた白衣をかけるだけ
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body.
大した時間はかからないわ
They'd be done in no time.
それはそうかもしれないけど。
Maybe, but still.
朝比奈さんは食堂で苗木くんと会った後彼と一緒に行動したの
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
There's one major flaw in your logic so far, Kyoko. To pull all of that off, you would need a very smart person.
True.
Makoto's
And-
not this person.
Yeah. The other thing that I have a problem with is like, how does she know all this if she wasn't even missing until if she was missing on the second floor until now?
Yeah.
私は先に体育館に行ってて
Oh no, I headed off to the gym and Makoto didn't show up till later.
じゃあその
That's all I have in my mind now. Makoto is stupid. Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
そんな
That's not.
不可能とは言い切れないはずよ。
Oh my god, Kyoko, getting so aggressive. Don't bother saying it's not possible.
どうやらキリギリの言う通りのようだ。苗木のアリバイは不十分だ。
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate. And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body has been added to the truth bullet.
さてと、振り出しに戻ったな。
But then it looks like we're back to square one.
苗木のアリバイが不十分となると、容疑者は苗木とキリギリの2人ということになる。
Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again our suspects are him and Kyoko.
リアルな話、どっちが犯人だべ。
For serious, man. Which one of them did it?
よっしゃ、思い切って運に任せっか。2分の1の確率だし。
Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh no. Oh!
Here, no. See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that! I just remembered something super serious.
なんだ、言ってみろ。
Well, don't just stand there, out with it.
あのさ、現場に黒焦げになったナイフが落ちてたでしょ。
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
ああ、爆発前の死体に刺さってたやつだべ。
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right?
モノクマファイルによると、腹部から背中までぶっ刺さってたらしいぞ。
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
で、そのナイフがどうした？
So, what about it?
あのナイフ、どこかで見た気がしてたんだけど。
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. Hina, no.
それを思い出しちゃったんだよね。
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered. Listen, more important, Lee. Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it?
Burn it, melt it. We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway.
So what to do?
Let's kill Byakuya with it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Big turn stabbing him.
Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto?
Huh? Me?
私が苗木に預けたナイフ。
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
See now, Makoto, if from the very beginning you had said the knife was missing, maybe you wouldn't look so suspicious right now. But for some reason, you just kept it to yourself.
とっくに気づいて
Like he does
たな。
this whole game.
He
You
is
don't
dumb.
seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
うん。
Yeah.
だったら、なぜ隠していた？
Then why did you hide that fact?
隠してた
Well,
わ
it's
けじゃ
gonna
ない。
look suspicious.
ただ、
It's not that I hid it, it's just... I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
怪しすぎるべ。
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
死体に刺さってたナイフが苗木っちのもんだったってことは
The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto.
こりゃもう間違いねえべ 1200% の確率で苗
Now I'm
木っちが
totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Yeah, I don't know about. I have no idea what's coming here. I'm like, what? How does this change anything? Disguised dead body, exploded body analysis, fragments near the dead body.
あの死体に刺さってたナイ
The
フ
knife we found lodged in the dead body.
私が苗
It's the
木に
same
預
one
け
we
たナイフ
gave
よ
to Makoto.
やっぱりそうだよね
Is it? I'm afraid of that. It really is, isn't it? I'm afraid of that. If he did have that knife before then, that seals it. Makoto did it.
ナイフを預かってたから
Just because I had the knife once,
どうして僕が犯人って
that
ことになるの
automatically makes me the killer?
だってナイフの傷
Well,
が
getting
致命傷
stabbed is what killed her, right? Or the bludgeoning on the head. There's no other
お
explanation.
めえがあのナイフでブスリとやったんだ
I took something. What a horrible man you are, Makoto. Alright, so it might be the body analysis. We already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed. Which means when the knife was thrust through the coat into the dead body, or into the body,
あの死体に刺さってたナイフってさ私が苗木に預けたナイフよやっぱりそうだよね
wait, what were they? Fragments near dead body,
あのナイフを
disguised dead body,
な
and
るとつまり
exploded
犯人は
body
苗木っ
analysis?
ちってことだべ
ナイフを預かってたからってどうして僕が犯人ってことになるの
だってナイフの傷が致命傷だろ
Maybe this?
だったら間違いねえべ
Okay, I guess I missed.
おめえがあのナイフでブスリとやったんだ
Stab, stab.
恐ろしい男ねあの死体に刺さってたナイフってさ私が苗木に預けたなやっぱりそうだよね
あのナイフを持ってたつまり犯人は苗木っちってことだべ
ナイフを預かってたからってどうして僕が犯人
だってナイフの傷が致命傷だろ
Ooh.
Hmm.
Got it wrong.
I got it wrong. I guess it must be disguised dead body then.
やっぱりそうだよね
あのナイフを持ってたとなるとつまり犯人は苗木っちってことだべ
ナイフを預かってたからってどうして僕が犯人って
だってナイフの傷が致命傷
Yay!
I wish it let you like check the truth bullets during that time.
ナイフの傷じゃなかったんだ
Wait, yeah, actually I want to see what exactly they say. The explosion has burnt the upper body beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire and it had to be extinguished because of this. Okay. Disguised body. Murder took place before the sprinklers turned on. The suspects later they removed the tarps. Yeah, so because okay, I see why. Because the blood was fake. It wasn't the stab wound that killed them. Yeah. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro.
それはさっきの偽装工作の話でも明らかになったはずだよ
That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
嘘だべさっきは致命傷
Oh, and we are over time, so let's... we will leave this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
See you next time.
Hello, everyone. Coco is here to make a very special announcement. Today is November 4th, which means this is the official kickoff for Extra Life. You probably already know since we have talked about this on the channel, but Extra Life is a fundraising campaign in which, primarily in the month of November, gamers promise to stream a cumulative total of 24 hours. And they do this in order to raise money for the Children's Hospital Network. It's a very good cause. You can check in the description. I will have a link to the official website. But one special thing that we're going to do is that on November 19th, that's a Sunday, starting at 3 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, we will be streaming Danganronpa.